Hey guys, my name is Steven Norlander, and my purpose today is to help you guys learn how to get a VH on an Epinions article of your choice. I happen to do mine on a book, As a Man Thinketh, but let me explain a little bit before that on what it took me to finally get my first VH. Like several of you probably took several articles to write before you were able to get your VH, unless you're one of those very select few who are very wise, who have an extended vocabulary, but I'm not one of those people. So it took me several articles to write before I was able to get my first VH. It doesn't help though when you pick an article or just anything that you decide to write on if you've had no experience with it yourself. Me, I tried writing an article about a book which I didn't even finish. I just heard it was a great book. I started the book, I didn't finish it. But I thought because I started it, I read part of it, it'd give me enough information to write something about that book. But I was incorrect. And so what you want to do is you want to pick something that you had a great positive influence with or a highly negative influence with, and you tell why it's helped you out, or you say why it didn't. When you pick things that have not helped you in any way or form, it's not going to help the person who you are trying to persuade to buy or to not buy your product. In fact, it took 3 weeks for my first article, or for my first article to get even read and reviewed, because I just picked something at random and had no personal experience with it whatsoever. But when I picked As a Man Thinketh, I picked this book because I've read it several times. I've read it 4 to 5 times within the past 3 years, just because I love it. I love the book. I love James Allen as an author, and I really highly recommend his reading. And that's what I put down, and I put the reasons why. If you look at this book, it's not a very big book. It's only 50 pages long. And if you open it up, you'll see that the pages themselves are fairly short, which make the book a very easy book to read and finish fairly quickly. It takes probably about an hour and a half maybe to read if you're a slow reader like I am. And so it's not very hard to read. And just those little tiny things on that it's a small book, that it doesn't contain very many words to the page, those are things that people want to hear. Those are the things that sort of drew me to this book, because I saw that it was a small book. I also heard that it was a great book from a friend who read it, and that's what made me want to buy it myself. But also, after I read it, I explained why I read it so many times, that my experiences with this book and with James Allen. James Allen, how he came about writing this book is that he and his family were born and raised in England, and his dad came over to America to raise money to send over for his family. But before he was able to send money over there for them to come over here, he got murdered and robbed. And so James Allen, he talks about how usually that could affect somebody in a negative way. How some people, after having lost a parent, which several people have, how it made it so he decided, you know what, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm going to go and continue to live life as I should. And because he had that mentality, he sort of put all those reasons in the book and what made him think the way he did. And he gives several examples throughout his book that help us realize that, you know what, it doesn't matter what situation I'm in, I'm the person who decides whether I'm going to stay in that situation or get myself out. If I want to be poor, I can remain to be poor for the rest of my life, or I can figure out what it takes to be rich, and I become rich and successful. So he sort of teaches us that we are the creators of our future, that we are the creators of our circumstances, and that nobody else can do that. People can say whatever they want to us, but in the end, it's up to us whether or not we want to listen to them. And those things are what those examples from his book I applied to my own life, and they worked, and that's what I put down into my article, and that's what helped me get the VH. Is when I used personal experiences on how this book influenced my life and how this book has helped me. If I was just to read the book and say it was good, you know, I highly recommend it, I just thought it was great reading material, no one's going to buy it because I didn't share any personal experiences, and it just sounds like I'm just pulling something at random like I did the first book, and of course no one's going to listen to it. But when you pick a book, just an article, just anything of your choice that you've had either a highly positive experience with or a highly negative one, and you explain why, those are what are going to get your VH, when you have put personal experiences into your article. Don't go off anybody else's word either. yes, I did buy this book because somebody told me that it was a good book, and that's what made me buy it. But what made me read it several times are the way it influenced my life. So you have to pick something that has influenced your life, and not the life of somebody else. And when you just do these little things, those are what's going to help you get the VH. And so let's just quickly review. Just pick the qualities of the positive or negative qualities of your product. Mine's the book. I put that it's small. The pages aren't very long, and it's very easy to read. Those are things that are very necessary to put down, and those are things what people want to hear. And then I gave personal experiences on why the book has helped me and what made it so I read it several times. And when you do these things, and when you put the personal experiences in, those are what are going to make people either buy or not buy your product that you are reviewing. And so just remember those little things. They're not very hard, and they will help you, I promise, to get your VH.